AEW President Tony Khan reportedly is set to add injury time onto Rey Fenix's current AEW contract, meaning the former AEW World Tag Team Champion won't be able to leave the company for over a year, possibly scuppering plans for he and his brother to go together to WWE as a package. Speaking of stars from AEW going to WWE, WWE reportedly has interest in bringing back current AEW star Malakai Black. Cody Rhodes' big entrance at Bad Blood has possibly been revealed. Speaking of which, we've got an update on what is currently set to be the main event of the upcoming PLE. Shawn Michaels says that NXT CW Network premiere will see a lot of big changes from a look and physical standpoint. An update on SmackDown possibly moving to 3 hours on USA Network, and former AEW World Champion MJF has been cast in the upcoming Happy Gilmore 2 sequel. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with an update on the Lucha Brothers and their current AEW status. And it looks like at least one of them is going to be sticking around in AEW for at least the foreseeable future, while the other has little time left. Now, the future of former AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers, has been the subject of much discussion over the past few weeks, as it's been rumoured that their time of All Elite Wrestling is nearly over. Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix have been with AEW since the beginning, but it seems that the next chapter of their careers may be with WWE, as it was recently reported by multiple sources that Penta and Rey Fenix had agreed multi-year deals with WWE. It was also reported that AEW President Tony Khan decided against tacking on excess time to Fenix's current deal in favour of letting him go and leave with his brother. However, that may not be the case. According to Dave Meltzer in the most recent edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it appears it could be a long time before the Lucha Brothers jump to WWE, as they are both still technically under contract with AEW, meaning that their negotiations can't take place until their deals expire. As for when those deals are up, Penta's deal reportedly is up within the next 2 months, and he is expected to leave, but it seems that Khan may have had a change of heart regarding the potential injury time that could be tacked on to Fenix's current deal. Unless anything drastic changes, this would mean that Fenix would actually remain in AEW for nearly one more full calendar year. Both Khan and WWE had reportedly made competitive offers to both men, with Penta making up his mind first, as he had initially been frustrated with how he was being used, as well as feeling disrespected due to the politics surrounding the company's partnership with CMLL. This problem was eventually squashed over the summer, as both Penta and Fenix worked Arena Mexico alongside PAC. So what are your thoughts on the possibility of Penta leaving AEW, but Rey Fenix having to stick around for at least a year as more time is added on to his contract? Now, Malakai Black, could we see the former NXT champion back in WWE? Now, the AEW contract status of Malakai Black has become a topic of debate online in recent days, and while it's unclear when Black may enter free agency, it sounds as though there is outside interest in the performer. The latest Wrestling Observer newsletter includes an update on Black's status, with Dave Meltzer stating that WWE wants to bring the wrestler back when he is available. Now, today's report states that Black's contract likely ends in early 2025, though the company could add slightly more time onto the deal due to injuries, as is the case with Rey Fenix. Meltzer also reasserted that Black had asked for his AEW release around the time Paul Triple H Levesque took over WWE's creative team, something that Black has previously pushed back on. While Meltzer is under the impression that Black is on his way out, that doesn't seem to be the case for all of his stablemates. Buddy Matthews reportedly signed a new AEW contract earlier this year, though it's not clear how long that deal will last. Details on the length of Brody King and Julia Hart's contracts are not readily available. King signed with the company in early 2022, and while it's unclear when Hart signed, it was reported that she did indeed sign a full-time contract with AEW, despite never receiving an All-Elite graphic. Before getting released in 2021, Black performed on the WWE roster as Aleister Black, though he was eventually released by the organization after being elevated to the main roster. He is often more associated with his days on WWE NXT, where he was at one point a top star on the brand, being the champion. Black has spoken positively about his working relationship with Triple H, likely contributing to the perception that he hopes to return to WWE. Now, Bad Blood is on the horizon and looks like Cody Rhodes is going to get a special entrance. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes has always had an elaborate entrance, even back in his AEW days, but like his usual WWE tradition, pay-per-view/PLE entrances are even always more elaborate. Rhodes, of course, is set to team with his former rival Roman Reigns at the upcoming Bad Blood PLE, and according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the champion's entrance will be performed by a live band at the event. The report says that the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluffs marching band will accompany Rhodes at the PLE. The Wrestling Observer newsletter also further noted that the marching band previously played Rhodes' entrance-themed Kingdom at a college football game that aired last month on ESPN. Rhodes and WWE presumably caught wind of the performance and decided to use it to make the champion's entrance seem larger than life. At this stage, there's no word on Reigns' entrance, but the original tribal chief will likely rival the American Nightmares. The current chapter of Rhodes' ongoing feud with the Anoa'i family has positioned the fast-rising Jacob Fatu as a genuine threat to the champion's reign, and may even lead to many to call him to take over the mantle of tribal chief from Solo Sikoa. However, whether or not that happens, we'll wait and see. Now, speaking of that match, it looks like it's going to be the main event of the upcoming Bad Blood PLE. Of course, Bad Blood returns on October 5th, 2024 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, and the latest on its main event has now been revealed. Currently, 5 matches have been announced for the upcoming PLE, with 2 in particular seemingly vying for the main event spot. The show will see CM Punk face Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell, and the tag team of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns taking on the Bloodline Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Now, the Hell in a Cell match would be a tribute to the first such match, which also fell on October 5th back in 1997 at Bad Blood in Your House. It was recently reported that there were parties behind the scenes in WWE who were interested in the tag match being the main event. Dave Meltzer has now provided further insights in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, quote, McIntyre versus Punk was originally set to go on last and be the main event on the show, although we've been told that has changed, and right now it's the tag match. It always could change again, as there are people on both sides of the discussion. Now, at the time of recording, what is known is that the other 3 matches on the card will see Liv Morgan defend the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest taking on Finn Balor, and Nia Jax facing Bayley and Naomi with the Women's Championship on the line. As revealed on this week's Raw, Dominic Mysterio will also be in attendance, suspended above the ring in a shark cage for the Ripley versus Morgan title bout. Now, NXT is on its way to the CW network, and we've got a lot of details about what it could look like. Now, NXT will begin a new era on October 1st, as the show will make its premiere on the CW network with a special episode that will be held in the Allstate Arena in Chicago. CM Punk, The Miz, and other stars are set to appear, while the show will also feature multiple title matches, including Julia challenging Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. Speaking with the Chicago Tribune, WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative, Shawn Michaels, discussed NXT's upcoming show in Chicago. He said, quote, certainly we want to make a big splash on the CW network. We'll have some big changes, but I think more of that will come from a look and physical standpoint. We will still be what NXT is, which is bringing some of the most talented, young, diverse athletes in all of the nation and developing them into the WWE superstars of tomorrow. The hunger, the passion that's always been the core value of NXT is always going to be there, but certainly we'll try to put on some pretty cool bells and whistles for the CW launch on October 1st. Now, many people have wondered what this move to the CW will mean for the streaming status of NXT. With the September 24th NXT in the books, WWE's developmental brand has officially ended its time on USA Network after 5 years. Beginning October 1st, NXT will make the CW its new home, with that premiere episode set to take place at the Allstate Arena. However, NXT leaving USA will also mark a big change when it comes to how fans can stream the show online. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the archives of all NXT shows will be taken off their current platform of Peacock and will be moving to the CW's official streaming app at the beginning of October, the same day the show's debut episode on the CW is set to air. While fans who are currently subscribed to Peacock will miss out on the weekly NXT show, the brand's premium live events are reportedly set to remain on Peacock until February 2026, as they are part of a separate deal that is also linked to why NXT and SmackDown didn't follow Raw to Netflix at the beginning of 2025. As I mentioned, for what fans can expect when NXT debuts on the CW, certainly plenty, and many people are excited to see what happens. Now, what about next year with NXT? Well, it looks like special plans are in place for the first NXT of 2025. Aside from premium live events, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, typically houses NXT television tapings. However, as the brand begins anew on the CW network next week, they are starting to branch out of the Sunshine State. Next Tuesday's NXT network premiere on the CW will emanate from Chicago's All-State Arena. The following week's show will take place in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, as of now, there have been no more NXT television dates announced for locations away from Orlando. However, a new report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter may have indicated that another special edition of NXT could be in the pipeline. Whilst writing about WWE's reported plans for Los Angeles' Intuit Dome to host the Monday, January 6th edition of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, Dave Meltzer revealed that there also has been talk for an NXT taping to take place in that same arena the following night. Meltzer wrote, quote, "While not confirmed, there was a lot of talk this week coming off Raw that the first Raw on Netflix on January 6th would be in Southern California. There were Netflix employees in the first few rows at Raw this week. Netflix is based both in Los Angeles and Los Gatos, California, which would be the San Jose market. As part of that talk was the idea of NXT in the same building the next night. Again, this is just talk, although the Raw episode in Los Angeles is pretty strong talk." Now, SmackDown is back on USA Network, and what about these rumors? It's going to now be 3 hours long. WWE fans around the world seemingly rejoiced at the recent news that Raw would be reverting back to a 2-hour format beginning on October 7th, after 12 years of the Red brand being 3 hours long each week. However, those same fans were then faced with the harsh reality of SmackDown potentially having an extra hour tacked on beginning in 2025, a story originally broken by WrestleVotes that was met with speculation as to whether SmackDown would actually go to 3 hours due to the uncertainty of whether Raw itself would revert back to 3 hours once it moves to Netflix. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it does in fact seem that WWE are planning to make SmackDown a 3-hour weekly show every Friday on USA Network. Meltzer stated that those he's talked to within WWE have confirmed that, while nothing is finalized just yet, the company is waiting to make an official announcement later on this year. WWE are reportedly in talks with USA over the financial side of things, but it is believed to be a low-risk, high-reward situation for WWE, as the cost of producing an extra hour of television is low, and WWE have become so accustomed to doing it on USA since Raw became 3 hours back in 2012. If SmackDown does make the move to 3 hours at the beginning of 2025, that would mean that the final hour of the show would go head-to-head with AEW Rampage on TNT. However, given the details of AEW's new media rights deal that is set to be formally announced in the coming weeks, Rampage could either move night or be cancelled altogether, leaving SmackDown as the sole wrestling show on TV every Friday night. Now, speaking of AEW, MJF, his movie career is seemingly blossoming. Now, ever since his role as an executive producer on The Iron Claw, MJF has found himself being cast in more Hollywood movie roles, including a role in the upcoming comedy movie Floaters. Today, Deadline reported that MJF has been cast in the upcoming sequel to Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore, set to release on Netflix. MJF joins Sandler, Julie Brown, and Christopher McDonald as the known cast, with Sandler also teasing a potential cameo from Travis Kelce. This is what Deadline had to say, quote, "Professional wrestler Maxwell Jacob Friedman, aka MJF, of AEW fame, is the latest to join the cast of Netflix's Happy Gilmore 2, starring Adam Sandler. Details as to his role is currently under wraps, as is the sequel's plot. Others on board include Julie Bowen and Christopher McDonald, who reprise their respective roles as Virginia Vinitz and Shooter McGavin, the love interest and pro-golfer antagonist of Adam Sandler's titled character. Recently, Sandler also teased that Travis Kelce is on board for a cameo, with production now underway, and Bad Bunny also joining the cast. Since making his acting debut with the release of A24's The Iron Claw, a film in which he served as the executive producer, on Christmas Day 2023, MJF has stayed very busy. He recently wrapped production on the independent comedy The Floaters, starring alongside Seth Green and Aya Cash. He also went on to book and shoot Clark Duke's sophomore feature film Strangehold, playing one half a big bad duo alongside Ron Perlman, facing off against Jake Lacey, Ashley Benson, and Justin Long. It's also been reported that essentially, the role he's going to play, according to PW Insider, will be the character of Gordy in the film, who is one of Happy Gilmore's sons. Of course, it had been known that MJF was away from AEW programming due to filming for a movie. He defeated Daniel Garcia all out on September 7th, but was then laid out by a second-rate pile driver from Garcia. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.